The last 24 hours have been some of the most interesting 24 hours that it has ever been being a Pokemon fan. We have quite literally seen one of the biggest leaks of all time for Pokemon, and every single thing that we used to like talk about and theorize in X and Y is coming to light. And I think I might have been right this entire time. If you've been like a long time subscriber of mine, if you've been watching the collabs with Nexus and Supra, if you've been watching those little like one-off X and Y speculation videos from back in the day, if you remember the X and Y roundtables, the great regional debates, if you've been watching like long time Pokemon discussion content from me, then you would know that Kalos, Pokemon X and Y are like my most, I don't know, if it's like a weird fixation with these games, because unfortunately, you and I both know that Kalos unfortunately went through a weird development cycle, and what we got isn't what we could have gotten, and it's not what was originally planned now that we've confirmed it almost, what, like 10 years ago? And it's so interesting to me because if you remember, for a very, very long time, there were a lot of leaks that were coming out around X and Y's development, and after that kind of made it seem like X and Y, there was a lot more to X and Y. You had to be like a humongous Reddit / like 4chan junkie to get some of these like random 4chan posts, random Reddit posts that just never saw the light of day because people were like, oh, the games are already out. If this would have happened, they would have confirmed it, yada, yada. Just for 10 years later, them to be doing interviews regarding things that were scrapped in X and Y, and just for now, leaks to be happening, for them to basically confirm that there was an alien plot in Pokemon X and Y, and Southern Kalos was made was made and then removed months before release. Are we serious? So if you remember the old rumored scrapped Pokemon X and Y plot, where Diantha and I think Lysander were part of like an alien people, and they would have came through trying to, it's a long weird thing regarding these games that like I'm gonna try to like remember as best as I can, but it all goes back to this post from like 2014 on 4chan, and it was from this guy called, I'm trying to remember his name. It's like the X and Y, it was XY cutting room floor information from the XY sidebar. And it was this guy who left this like really huge, and I'm talking about really long post regarding cut content from X and Y. The very first draft for X and Y was about aliens. I'm pretty sure like Lysander and Sycamore were supposed to be aliens. AZ was supposed to be an alien, but like from the past. Xerneas and Yveltal were also alien life forms. The Megastones were technically alien origin. Fairy type Pokemon were supposed to be a lot more like center focus in the story. Diantha was supposed to be like the benevolent like mom or something like that from this entire generation. There was also supposed to be like a little like Year of Luigi plot line with the mansion, or not the little mansion, but the little like hut on Route 14. It's a long post. Let me know in the comment section below if you guys will like this post to become like an actual video in itself. But ideally, these were all scrapped ideas early on in development, and it's been confirmed because the X and Y build finally got leaked, and they found, not only did they found Southern Kalos, they found the Kalos Reserve DLC that was supposed to come out for the games. If you remember, you have to be like a really old Pokemon fan to remember this. There was rumors about the Kalos Reserve. There's a scrapped map and everything, and they found 3 alien soundtracks. So now, how are you right, Nick? What's going on? So if you remember, if you've been like a long time subscriber of mine, you would know that I was heavily fixated as to why Zygarde was in Kalos randomly, why he gets a new form in Kalos randomly, why during X and Y and Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire's release, there was Volcanion in the files who were supposed to be like, you know, terrorizing Southern Kalos, right? Volcanion was in the files for X and Y, and for some reason we didn't get his movie until about like, I think about right before Sun and Moon actually came out. It was always weird to me, like, why are we getting all these things? And it blew my mind because I'm over here, I'm reading the Pokemon Legends ZA leaks, right? And apparently, right, we're supposed to be getting a Mega Zeraora. In my mind, I was like, why would Zeraora get a random Mega Evolution when he has no ties to Kalos? And it made me think about it. What if, right, Zeraora, what if Volcanion, what if, like, obviously Hoopa, but Hoopa was implemented into like later games or whatever. What else from X and Y that was scrapped ended up becoming things that we had in Pokemon, right? And I thought to myself, the aliens are the Ultra Beast. The people from our space, or the alien race from space, is the Ultra Recon Squad. There's an entity trying to destroy Earth. They honestly, it makes so much sense to me that during development, they took a whole bunch of scrapped plot points and implemented them into like later iterations of the game to fit what we have now. So it begs the question, what if Zeraora was meant for X and Y? What if Mars Shadow was meant for X and Y? Which that doesn't make any sense, because I think there are some things from X and Y that I think did kind of keep, but I think this opens up the door for a lot more what ifs in this scenario, right? If Southern Kalos was supposed to be an entire DLC, and we were supposed to go down there and I guess either stop Volcanion or I guess explore the Kalos Reserve, who knows, right? But we do know that Southern Kalos was a real thing. It was 100% a real thing that was scrapped. I think there was an interview about like a year or two ago where they talked about a whole bunch of scrapped content from X and Y and how Mega Flygon was supposed to be a thing. If you remember, they also confirmed that Professor Sycamore's name was Patrice instead of Sycamore. And there's a leak that from like 2014 or 2013, I think it was in like May or something like that, that confirmed quite literally every single thing except for the starter types. Like the starter types orders were wrong, but it was the same starter types, if that makes sense. Like I think it was like Chestnut was like grass dark, the water one was like water fighting or something like that. They got they got the types assigned to the starters wrong, but they got the same typings correct. You know what I'm saying? It's a weird thing to do, but ideally, this X and Y leak stuff is quite literally confirming deadass 11 years worth of like speculations and theories and stuff. You have to go through. I was talking about it on Twitter. You need to be following me on Twitter right now. You need to be following me on Twitter. You need to be following me on Twitter. I'm not asking, I'm telling you. If you want to be a part of this discussion, if you want to be a part of this thing, you need to be part of the Discord and Twitter. That you have to be a part of this stuff, because if you've been a long time subscriber of mine, dude, I'm telling you, we used to talk about this all the time in whatever collab me and Nexus did, in whatever thing me and Nexus and Super did, in whatever discussion, debate, whatever. I quite literally was so hyper fixated as to why certain things on the 3DS games were the way that they were, and that they were scrapped content. We quite literally have gotten maybe about 4 or 5 quote unquote 4chan leaks confirmed in 24 hours. And so I thought to myself, okay, cool. How do we implement all the things that we got into like a canon or whatever, right? And I thought to myself, okay, Annabelle goes through a portal. She goes through one of Hoopa's, I'm pretty sure it's Hoopa's rings, or it's like a portal or whatever. Did they ever confirm that? I'm not really sure. So they go through one of the rings or whatever, and she loses her memory, and we quite literally, we have a whole person who doesn't have a memory, right? Then in another game, in a later game, there's Moan from the the archipelago, who loses his memory going through a wormhole as well. And I'm thinking to myself, what if the ultra wormholes, and what if like these like Hoopa things are just like time traveling portals? Because Hoopa can go through dimensions. He's done it before. You've gone through an entire after game where he's taking bits and pieces from other universes and putting them in Hoenn. It makes so much sense. I'm like, what if these portals are bigger than what it is? And I thought to myself, who in Pokemon history is somebody that is time traveling, or somebody that is going through portals? And I thought to myself, Giovanni is one of them if you want to make Rainbow Rocket canon. But Volo is the only person who is quote unquote time traveling, and if we were to like take this into like a bigger theory thing, if you want to just go off some off the rail stuff, what if, right, Volo, instead of being a time traveler, is really a dimension hopper. This guy can go through so and so and so and so because he has Giratina. Giratina is not just he's not just a godlike entity. This thing is a multi-dimensional being. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, okay, cool. The rabbit hole can get deeper now, because I'm pretty sure there was like plans to tie in the anime with the games, and I think Ash's dad like went through one of the portals, and it's such a weird. The rabbit hole for early X and Y development, honestly, quite literally, it's such an interesting, because if you were to go back down that rabbit hole, right, and you were to look at everything that we got from the Pokemon X and Y builds, right, and you would have looked at, like, let's say for instance, all those old popular 4chan leaks, all the ones that were kind of just discarded, all the ones that kind of were just rumors, just whatever, and take bits of parts, some of them things were right this entire time. And because obviously, you know, you gotta take everything you see online with a grain of salt or whatever, you can't believe everything. So you're like, okay, cool, whatever. But it's so crazy to me how Mega Jinx was confirmed to be a real thing. And we just like, because there was no image, a lot of people were kind of just like, you know, who cares, just whatever. But like, dog, Mega Jinx was a real thing. Mega Flygon was confirmed to be a real thing 10 years later. Pokemon Legends ZA could either be a past game, or it could be a future game from the events of X and Y, and it could essentially be the Kalos Reserve. Think about it. Instead of giving us Southern Kalos, make Lumio Station bigger. Make Lumio Station bigger. Make Lumio Station bigger. And make Pokemon Legends ZA an expansion of the already established Lumio City. Why would they need to expand Lumio City? Because the rest of the region is being destroyed. Or they just want to expand. You know, we want to expand or whatever, but I'm pretty sure there's a whole bunch of legendary Pokemon in Kalos, or that were meant to be in Kalos. We saw Hoopa, Volcanion, and apparently Zeraora. Zeraora has a whole Mega Evolution planned for Pokemon Legends ZA. We have an entire power plant that has not been touched in X and Y. You get what I'm saying? These are all ideas that I think were scrapped and put into later games. I wanted to, with that being said, I want to know what plot line they were gonna do to have Zygarde be in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, or in Sun and Moon, because he's the protector of the planet. Okay, cool. The Ultra Beasts are universal level threats. Zygarde gets a new form in Sun and Moon. He has no active role in Sun and Moon's plotline at all, and they have a whole invasion in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, and he doesn't do anything at all, but he has a new form. These are ideas. These are ideas that they're just putting in this game. And in my mind, that lets me know that there was something planned for Zygarde that was bigger than what we got. And I think that these leaks are filling in like little holes in development theory that I quite literally have always thought to myself. And it's so interesting to see, like, years later how like 18, 19, 20-year-old Nick was on to something this entire time. And now here we are years later, and I'm still here, thank God, right? And it's like, yo, like, it's so interesting seeing, like, maybe I wasn't so crazy. Maybe all these like nights in the Discord calls, all the Skype calls, all the watching the theory videos and stuff wasn't we were going somewhere. You know what I'm saying? This was supposed to be a bigger game. Like, Pokemon was supposed to be a bigger thing, dude. If there was one thing about these leaks that I think, like, we should take away from 100%, is that unfortunately, maybe we underestimated Game Freak's creativity this entire time. Maybe it all came down to time restraints. Maybe it all came down to whatever natural disasters there are. Maybe it all came down to whatever business decision that was made in the higher ups, because Game Freak is really just a game company and not big Pokemon company. It's not big Nintendo. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe there was more to this story that unfortunately we will never know the truth of, right? And these leaks are all just leaks of a rushed development. You know, you never know. But let me know in the comments below how you guys feel about this. Where could Pokemon Legends ZA go? I'm gonna be honest, this could be bigger than I thought.